All right, transportation was one of the biggest ones. So passenger car and light duty truck, so what do we got? 58% of transportation greenhouse gases are on our dime. Those passenger cars and light duty trucks are our deal. So this is a big and important one. So what you can do is cut driving, which gives 0.8 pounds per mile. You can reduce air travel also, which is more efficient than driving, but still releases a lot of greenhouse gas. You can use carbon-free transportation, so walk or bike as much as possible, and e-bikes are great. Jim Stein here, show us who you are, Jim. You talk to him about e-bikes afterwards. Let me ride his e-bike. It was like really cool.
Is that a motor?
The figure of driving, does it make a difference what it is you're driving?
So Sandy asked, the driving, does it matter what you drive? Yeah, that's an average for all cars in the United States. Sure, it matters what you drive.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how do we determine our car?
Yeah.
And the,
Well, maybe I've got some numbers coming up that'll help you do that.
That's a good question.
So, and then what I also want to talk about carbon offsets. So the idea is to, minimize your carbon contribution to the atmosphere by these methods. And then you can purchase carbon offsets to compensate for necessary driving, to compensate for necessary flights. And I've got some information on that coming up. So, EV, electric vehicles, just rock. These things are great. And they're quiet, they're smooth, relaxing, they're cheap, and they're fast. I just got one, so you can tell I'm still...
What is it?
I'm going to show you a picture in a minute. And it's really great. It's really great. So there's different kinds. You got hybrids, have both a gas and electric motor. You have a small battery capacity that's recharged when you brake. It's called regenerative braking. You don't plug them in or anything. So Prius is the main one of those. So Prius turns out to be just a nice, very efficient gasoline car. Okay? So that's a good start. A plug-in hybrid would be the next one up the line. This is what I got. So the battery range on it would be 20 to 50 miles is typical on the battery. After that, the gas motor comes on and you can just keep driving. So that's very handy. A lot of people have this range anxiety is what it's called about having an electric vehicle. What if I'm on the night and the battery runs out? And you go, oh man, that would be bad. So the plug-in hybrid takes care of that. And so Prius has a plug-in hybrid with a 20-mile range. It'll go 47 miles an hour. The Volt has a 50-mile-an-hour range, and it'll do 80 on electric. I mean, it's a great little car. And then you have the all-battery EVs. They have no gas motor. The battery ranges between 1 and 300 miles, and these are made by Tesla. Bolt is made by Chevrolet and the Nissan Leaf, and there's many others. And you can just Google for these babies and find out all kinds of information. Carol?
Yeah, so if our electricity is made in a way that creates...
I'm going to get to that point. All right, yes. Good. So this is what I got. It's a 2017 Volt, V-O-L-T. It goes 50 miles on electric. It gets 4 miles per kilowatt hour. And so next I'm going to explain kilowatt hours and kilowatts to you. And it gets over 100 miles per gallon E, electric or equivalent. So what you're going to see that too. And what that means is that's how many miles the car would drive on the energy equivalent of a gallon of gasoline. So a gallon of gasoline has 37.7 kilowatt hours of energy in it. So the car would go that over 100 miles on 37.7 kilowatt hours of energy. This is actually a pretty stupid measurement that's very confusing and is not so great, but that's what it means. Recharges in 4 hours, off-peak at 6 cents a kilowatt hour. That's the equivalent of 60 cents a gallon gasoline for operating this car. Who wouldn't like that? Yes, sir.
Gary, it's a four-seater. What's the weight of the car?
I have no idea. I don't know. The gasoline range on it is 350 miles. It gets 48 miles a gallon on gas. We drove it to Santa Cruz and back over Christmas to see Mom, and it was just really quiet and comfortable. It was a great little car. I can't believe that I bought a Chevrolet. I can't believe that GM designed this. They just did a superb job. Who would have thought?
You can't believe it that they don't make them anymore.
And then, yeah, so Jim just pointed out, they just discontinued these. 2019 was the last year. And so, why did they discontinue it? Is this just another example of bad corporate decision-making, or what?
They're going out of the car business into the pickup truck business.
There's a lot of reasons, yeah.
That's true.
None of them good. So that's a shot off the dash. So I went 38 miles and used that much, and here's the MPGE. 200. Well, it didn't use any gas, so right, no miles. So I live in Chino. We can go to Prescott, run around, go home. That motor never comes on. What's not to like about this? Yes.
What about recharging stations? You had to install one at your home, and where else are they?
I just recharge at home.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you had to install one.
No, I just plug it into the wall.
That's what I don't know. It's
Yeah, just plug it into the wall. 12 amps, recharges overnight. 12 amp, 110 volt, no problem.
Gary, going to Santa Cruz, did you plan your route so that you could have recharge stations along the way?
No, I just bought gas.
Okay.
I mean, even if you get a $50,000 Tesla or something, 300-mile range, you go to Santa Cruz 700 miles, you'd have to stop twice and recharge. You'd spend hours recharging. So, to me, the plug-in hybrids are really a good combination vehicle. They can do long trips and, so, I mean, it's not perfect. You're still going to be using gasoline, but in this whole affair, don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good. Just get started and do something, right? So, on an electric vehicle, so I have a truck. I have to have a truck. It's Tacoma. It's not too bad on gas mileage, 20. It puts out a pound of CO2 per mile, and it costs 15 cents a mile to drive at 3 cents a gallon, at $3 a gallon. The Volt gets 4 miles per kilowatt hour. It puts out 0.21 pounds of CO2 per mile. That's the energy, the release from the energy from APS. So that's my contribution, Carol. So it's 1/5 of driving a regular car. That's pretty good. And it cost me 1.5 cents per mile, 1/10 the operating cost. Not to mention highly infrequent oil changes. Brakes don't need to be replaced because you're using regenerative braking almost all the time. I think this is a winner. So if I drive the Volt 20,000 miles on electric, I'll save 4,100 pounds of CO2. That's 2 tons. I just met half of my family goal, right? Right there. So, it saves me $2,700 a year in fuel costs compared to the truck. So, I can take that you could take that $2,700 and do something to invest in your home to make it more energy efficient and reduce your greenhouse gases. So this is a win-win.